Welcome back to Walking the Plains. Okay. Enough! My next guest is a Jeskai elder mystic from the Sage Eye Stronghold and one of Tarkir's foremost oral historians. Please give it up for my buddy, Heenan Yusan!
Hey!
So, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, I'm all right, man. My chi is strong. You know what I'm saying? You on the other hand, do I sense that your spark looks a little weak? What do you say? Does the spark look weak? To me, I'm just saying.
Okay, let's talk about that after the show. All right, so I know that you're a professional historian. And since you're on the show tonight, I figured, why don't we play Stump the Pros? What do you say?
I knew you were going to do... All right.
Okay, live on the line from Pro Tour Cons of Tarkir, we have Roberto Gonzalez. Roberto is a Magic the Gathering pro playing in his 9th Pro Tour and has spent the last several weeks practicing the magic of Tarkir to compete against the very best players in the world. Is that correct, Roberto?
That would be a correct statement.
All right, you both know the rules. Roberto, for 100 points, name the necromancer and Rakshasa chief famous for summoning Citikur demons and who dwells in the Ukud necropolis.
What? Sidisi.
That is incorrect. Heenan, steal.
His name, of course, is Feomsi.
Wow, well done. Okay, final question time. Heenan, it's for you, and it's worth 1 million points.
Ooh, Nelly.
Cons of Tarkir features the return of the morph mechanic for the first time since Time Spiral Block. At that time, at Pro Tour Yokohama in 2007, what pro player piloted 4 copies of the famous morph Vesuvan Shapeshifter to a second-place finish?
Oh. That would be Brad Finkel DeRosa.
Oh no, that is not a person. Roberto, the steal.
Kazuya Mitamura.
That is correct. Roberto Gonzalez scores 1 million points and defeats Heenan Yusan and Stump the Pros. Oh, Heenan, you are the loser. And you know what that means. Bring on the Savages!
What? No! No!
Greetings from the annoyingly sunny island of Oahu, Hawaii, the site of Pro Tour Cons of Tarkir, where mages from across the multiverse will battle to the death. The grand bloodbath is taking place in some sort of large building that I did infiltrate, but was escorted back here after some blue men with hats and squawking talk boxes didn't like the cut of my jib. To re-enter the superstructure, I'll need to morph into a clever disguise. Much better. Aloha. right, I'm here with Eric Lauer, who is Magic's head developer and led the development team for Khans of Tarkir. Now, in Khans of Tarkir, we see the return of the very cool morph mechanic I'm very excited about. Can you just explain what is a morph card?
A morph card, it's a creature, and you can cast it as normal, or for 3 mana, you can play it face down. And it's a 2/2, but it also has the ability that you can turn it face up, paying some mana, usually not quite its casting cost.
How does playing a morph creature affect the dynamic between the players at the table?
You know, morph creatures create this interesting kind of logic puzzle on the table, and it's like you wonder, is your opponent playing, because there's a lot of morphs in this format. Are they playing their best morph? Is this morph expendable, where they're just going to let it die for 2? Is this one they're going to protect? I mean, there's so many different morphs that it creates so many different scenarios that it's good for a good player.
Yesterday, during your feature match, it seemed like you were having some fun with Paul Rietzel and his morphs. Could you tell us what was going on there?
So based on the way Paul played a lot of his turns, the mana he left up, which ones he attacked with and didn't, the order he played them in, all these things was allowing me to kind of deduce what his morphs were. And normally I would keep that information to myself, but I decided to say it out loud because I thought I could maybe even get a bigger read on Paul, his reaction to what I was saying. Yeah. And I think as I started to get them right, it was really kind of getting in his head, and you could tell it was shocking him, like, how does he know what my morphs are? Are my cards marked?
Fair to play a player with your psychological caliber in a morph format. It's really not. Hit you.
Paul.
I'll morph it.
Take 5, 15.
Oh, wow.
Nice read there for Williams.
I know. I get it. I have to play face up, and it's weird, and it's. My deck is much better, though, so maybe I can win anyway.
At the end of the day, though, he can just say, scoreboard, he won the match.
So I know you work in more the game design and development than the creative team. But can you speak to what a morph creature really is in the world of Magic?
No. I don't know.
All right, I'm here with Ali Brosh, who is the draw writer of the incredibly popular comic Hyperbole and a Half. I'm very pleased to meet you, finally. Ali, what are you doing in Hawaii?
I'm here to watch some of my favorite people play my favorite game.
Magic is your favorite game?
My favorite game, hands down, not even close.
Say you spend an afternoon writing and then in the evening you go and play Magic. Do you feel like you sort of morph as a person moving from one world to the other?
I use Magic to decompress. I watch a lot of Magic videos, videos of other people playing Magic. When I write, I get into sort of this strange headspace where I'm like thinking in loops and too much up in my own head, and it can be difficult to break myself out of that. And so my favorite way to do that is to sit down and watch Magic and just sort of passively absorb other people doing things.
Yeah. So I noticed that you've actually extended your art into like drawings of Magic players and stuff like that. What was the impetus behind that?
Well, I had a bet with Brian Kibler that if he ate an entire bowl full of wasabi, that I would tweet about him. And I was under the impression that the bet would be redeemed immediately. Yeah. But that was not the case. And so there was like 3 weeks or something where this bet just had time to percolate and become something larger than itself. I ended up writing a whole little story about it and creating an entire advertising campaign for Brian Kibler playmats.
Oh, I'm sure he loved that. Kibler and his advertising. Yeah.
It was a very antagonistic sort of advertising.
While most Magic players are fun-loving hobbyists, a select handful of elitely gifted card players will rise to the rank of Pro Tour competitor. Even rarer is a talent that will one day be elected to the Pro Tour Hall of Fame, which is inducting 3 new members this very evening.
both of us grew up with Magic, grew up on Magic, travels, saw the world together. And I think Paul is, he's very humble. He doesn't like to brag. He'll never say, I'm the best player in the room, even in rooms where he is clearly the best player.
What single spell or creature would you credit your success on the Pro Tour the most with?
It's a different question than most people ask. Most people ask what's your favorite spell or favorite card ever, but I have to obviously say Step Links. I mean, I've probably dealt thousands of damage with Step Links over the course of my career, and it's won me tens of thousands of dollars. So I got to give my credit to the little guy. And I said, I think in a report once for a Pro Tour that I made top 8 in, that my opponent forgot to bring 1 mana 4/5s to the tournament, and I remembered, so I got to win the match. So I'm forever indebted.
Makihito, congratulations. How would you describe yourself as a Magic player?
堅実なプレイヤーではありますけど、自分の独創性を出そうとはしている。
What are you most proud of in your Magic career?
ずっといつも勝てない時も勝ってる時も負けない時もあまりモチベーションをずっと保ったまま諦めないでプレーできたこと。
The top 8 of Pro Tour Cons of Tarkir is the story of opposites, featuring a garrulous gamer's emergence from a super team and a lone wolf's unassuming return to the spotlight. Sean McLaren defies the trend of success through collaboration. After winning Pro Tour Born of the Gods earlier in the year, he declined to enlist in a team of elite strategists, preferring to work alone, using introspection as his vehicle for growth. In the quarterfinals, he faced a formidable Li Shiqian, who named his deck the Umbrella Revolution to honor his compatriots in the streets of Hong Kong, where he'd spent many days demonstrating in the weeks leading up to the Pro Tour. But when Li struggled to assemble his Jeskai Ascendancy combo in the quarters, McLaren capitalized with a relentless assault of several Mantis Riders. Sean's next opponent was Massachusetts native Mike Sigrist, who had himself just bested Pro Tour M15's champion, Yvonne Flock. After splitting games 1 and 2, Sigrist found himself on the defensive in game 3. McLaren had a pair of Rabble Masters and the Warren's worth of goblins they bring along. McLaren then cast the potent Jeskai charm to boost the goblins' power and propel himself back to the finals for the second time in 2014. Ari Michael Lax has been a fixture on the tournament scene dating back to the days of the Junior Super Series, where he battled as a youngster for college scholarships. Defying the traditional wisdom of keeping a poker face and withholding information at the table, Ari's game is full of conversation. He talks through his possible draws, he guesses out loud what his opponent might have in hand, he chit-chats about the quirks of the metagame, and in tense, close games, he's not afraid to wear his heart on his sleeve. He'd also been cited as one of the most talented and accomplished pros in the game who had yet to top 8, but on this Sunday in Honolulu, he happily shed that distinction. Ari's road to the finals began with a battle against one of Japan's finest, Yuya Watanabe. After thoroughly controlling the battlefield in Game 1, Ari relied on the many talents of Soren, Solemn Visitor, to secure Game 2 and defeat the 2-time Player of the Year. In the semifinals, Ari squared off against Brazilian newcomer Thiago Saporito, who was fresh off a victory against the 19-year-old Czech phenom Andrei Strasky. In Game 1 of the semis, Ari broke through a messy battlefield to win with the help of Ajani, mentor of heroes. And while Saporito hit back hard to win Game 2 with an indestructible lion, Ari unleashed a Dune Blast in Game 3 and eventually summoned Elspeth, Sun's champion, to finish off the young Brazilian. And so the finals featured the solitary superstar versus Team TCG players' outspoken ace. Ari kicked off the match trampling over Sean with a pair of rhinoceri to win Game 1, but Sean struck back to take Game 2, incinerating Ari's face with a myriad of burn spells. And while Sean was able to summon Keranos, the god of storms, in Game 3, he was no match for Ari's planeswalker partnership of Sorin, Solemn Visitor, and Ajani, Mentor of Heroes. In Game 4, Sean once again aimed fire at Ari's face with a Lightning Strike, a Magma Jet, and a Jeskai Charm, bringing Ari's life total all the way down to 1. Meanwhile, Ari had been building an army that included a rhino and a fearsome pair of birds. Facing a lethal attack, Sean desperately needed to draw one last burn spell. Ari playfully asked Sean to slam his draw on the table, but Sean playfully did the opposite, pulling it slowly and carefully peeking at it. Fortunately for Ari, it was a Mantis Rider, which he promptly exiled, allowing his animal army to attack for the win. And so, Ari Michael Lax became the champion of Pro Tour Khans of Tarkir. Your teammates called you the unspoken leader of the team. I guess they're saying it now. So they say you have an incredible mind, great multitasker, but you're also one of the most animated and talkative players I have ever seen. Is that strategy or is that just your personality?
Always been that way since, I think I traced it back to probably like my second PTQ ever when I was the little kid playing a deck that I knew more about the format than everyone else. I was just like, I do this, this, and this, and I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? It's just never changed in the 12 years since.
How are you going to celebrate this PT victory?
Well, I have a flight in about 8-9 hours, so we'll see how much mayhem we can cause in the meantime.
What do these guys think about the trophy?
Deflecting palm will completely reverse the direction of the punch. You try it one more time.
Okay.
Ow! No, that's no good. You gotta use magic.
No, I'm not good with red and white specifically.
Okay, I'll show you. You come at me.
Okay.
Poison!